everybody. My name is Dr. Erin Stiles. I am a professor in the molecular genetics department here in the Temerity Faculty of Medicine at the University of Toronto. I also have the great pleasure of being the director of our professional master's program in health sciences, which is the medical genomics program. And our program launched in late 2018, which means that we are actually at the verge of seeing our 5th cohort of students graduating this upcoming spring. And so we're going to take this opportunity today just to celebrate a little bit. We have been steadily growing over the past 5 years, and our grads have been moving into a wider and wider array of discipline-relevant careers. And these have been really exciting and really impactful. And, our graduates have actually really been changing the face of genomic medicine as they go. So it is my absolute pleasure today to welcome back to campus our graduates who represent each of the first 5 cohorts of the MedGen program. And I'm just delighted that we're going to have this opportunity today to chat with some of our alumni and some of our current students and hear a little bit about what people have been up to since their time in MedGen, and to reflect and really celebrate on what our program has accomplished over the past several years. So our first alumna guest is April Kennedy, who was a member of our very first cohort ever, and who graduated with the class of 2020 into the height of the COVID-19 pandemic. April is now a pharmacogenomics data analyst at the Hospital for Sick Children. From the class of 2021, we have Mfanabang Udo Orop, who is now working as a bioinformatician at Mount Sinai Hospital's Clinical Genomics Center. Welcome back. From the class of 2022, we have Daniel Kiss, who is now working as a research coordinator at the Center for Addiction and Mental Health's Krembil Center for Neuroinformatics. From the class of 2023, we have Sonaja Kathirumanathan, who's now a bioinformatics support scientist at Illumina Canada. And last but certainly not least, we have Brooke Koh, who will graduate with the class of 2024 and who's now completing her capstone practicum project with Dr. Robin Haim's research group at the Hospital for Sick Children. So welcome back, everybody. And thank you so much for joining us today. I'm really excited to have this opportunity to connect with all of you and hear from you and ask a little bit about your journey. So my first question today is going to be for April. April, you were a member of our very first MedGen cohort, which means that you stepped into this really first-in-kind professional program, which had no history and no track record and really no precedent at all. And so I'm wondering if you can speak a little bit to why you decided to join a brand new program. We're really glad you did.
I'm glad I did as well. So I would say the draw to the program initially was the learning opportunities. They were really unique, the offering of a practicum, and just knowing that this program being one of the first of its kind, I imagine that would be filling a niche area in the job market. So that really intrigued me. And I thought having the chance to participate in this first cohort as a student, I'd be able to offer feedback and make a mark in the program, as well as learn from professionals and experts in the field and know that I was contributing but also growing professionally. So that was, I would say, the draw to the program.
Amazing. And from the other side of the table, I can say that you and your peers really did make a mark on the program. So thank you so much for bringing that perspective. My next question is going to be about the program itself, because it is still fairly new. 5 cohorts isn't that many. And because we are in such a rapidly expanding dynamic field, I'm wondering if maybe, Mfan, if you can speak a little bit to what were the sort of biggest challenges in being in a program like this?
Yeah, absolutely. So in my opinion, the biggest challenge in the medical genomics program is really transitioning the knowledge from sort of the realm of the theoretical to the realm of the practical. Since there's such a focus in the program to getting you industry ready by the end of it, it means that any time you're taught something, you're always challenged to apply it. When you're taught R programming, you're challenged to use it on real world and complicated genomics data. When you learn variant annotation, you're challenged to use the same tools that are used at the big hospitals like SickKids and Mount Sinai. So the program continuously challenges you in that regard, but the great part is that the staff, the faculty, and also the rest of your peers are always there to sort of help you and make sure that you're never lost.
Oh, I'm really glad to hear that. And many congratulations on meeting all of those challenges head on. The next question would be sort of on the flip side of that. Maybe, Dan, maybe you could speak to some of the most motivating parts of the program for you.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned the peers and the faculty, because I think for me, core aspects of motivation are firstly being able to be accountable to yourself, but also to your peers and your community. And then lastly, to be able to look towards the future with eagerness and positivity. So with regards to accountability, I think our cohort was very tight-knit and we made very close friendships. And that was by design. I think the program facilitates us to spend enough time with each other that we develop not only these strong professional relationships, but we actually become close friends and are able to spend time with each other. And when you have these relationships with people, you're no longer in it for yourself, but you're kind of in it for each other. And when you're with a group of people that is all in it for each other, then it kind of iterates back on itself, and we all look forward to each other's successes, and we all help with each other's struggles. And that, of course, translates to faculty as well. I think the way the program's structured offers a very unique and special opportunity for us to interact with faculty in a more candid way. In a lot of academic settings, you kind of speak to your supervisor or your committee every couple of months, and they check in on you. With our program, I knew that anytime I had a question or a concern or a struggle, I could go to an array of faculty members with varying experiences. And that lastly, I think the program offered opportunities both through course-based guest lectures and professional development seminars, but also through the practicum to sort of show us how the field actually operates and allow us to get this breadth of information and kind of decide prematurely what niches we want to feel or we want to fill. So yeah, when you're kind of accountable to yourself and your community and you have something to look forward to, I don't know if there's much that can be more motivating than that. I had a really good time.
That is wonderful to hear. And I'm so glad that you took all those things out of the program. And so you mentioned this idea of looking forward, which brings me really perfectly to the next question that I was going to ask. And so maybe we can hear a little bit about how the program has impacted your professional prospects. So Swarnaja, maybe you can speak a little bit to how you feel that MedGen affected your career trajectory.
Well, I'm glad you asked me that question because I feel like the MedGen program has been absolutely instrumental to where I find myself today. I think there's two main reasons for that. First off, with the MedGen program, it's really different from other graduate programs because not only do we get the technical skills and knowledge required to succeed in the field of genomics, but I think more importantly, we learn how to market ourselves as professionals, communicate with both scientific and non-scientific audiences, and we get this broader set of skills that people from other graduate programs may not necessarily have. And when we enter the workforce, people are surprised and very impressed that we have these skills. And I think the second way the MedGen program contributed to where I am today is the practicum course. The practicum is really, I think, one of the most valuable aspects of the MedGen program. Here is, like Mafon said, you apply all the skills you learn on real world situations. You know, you're helping real clinical customers. You're analyzing variants that are going to affect the patient. So that's where you get the experience that's going to open new opportunities for you after the MedGen program. And in my case, I was lucky enough to stay at an practicum site. So I think it's pretty important that I got there in the first place, you know?
That's fantastic. Thank you so much for sort of speaking to that. And you mentioned this idea of opening new opportunities, which is something that, you know, over the past few years, we have really focused a lot on trying to set our students up for their success in their future and make sure that they're really ready to get these great jobs when they graduate. And so maybe I'm wondering, Brooke, maybe you can speak a little bit to this. As a current student, do you feel that the program is setting you up for success when you graduate?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I definitely do. I think the really interesting part about MedGen is that it takes this really niche field and explores it in a very broad way. So you have the practical hands-on with bioinformatics and variant analysis, but you're also getting the communication. How do I make myself professional? How do I do this? How do I market myself, like Swarnaja said? And coupling onto that, you also, like when you're entering into the professional sphere, those skills are tangible. People can see them. And I think that's the really exciting thing for me, like starting my interviewing process now is I can draw on the experiences that I've been having and the opportunities that I've had through MedGen that I wouldn't have got anywhere else and really capitalize on those and set myself up for success. And that's being seen.
That's great. That's pretty much exactly what we're aiming for. So I'm so glad that you're getting the program. That's really wonderful to hear that, you know, what we're aiming for and what we're trying to provide you is something that is resonant for you.
Mm-hmm.
Before we move on, is there anything else that anybody wants to add about their experience or their career trajectory or something that you took out of the MedGen program that you would want to share?
Maybe I could add something, and just to add into your response, you spoke about the challenges of the MedGen program and learning how to apply what we learned to real-world situations. And I think one of the major things I got in the MedGen program is learning to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. With all these new skills, some of them you're going to be good at, some of them you won't be good at, some you've never done before. And you're not sure really where you're going to go, but I think that's the beauty of the MedGen program, because you're really discovering where you fit within the genomics field. And sometimes you're going to be uncomfortable, but you're going to realize you love something. Sometimes you'll be uncomfortable and you realize, I don't like this. But that's good, because, you're setting yourself, what you're good at, what you enjoy to do. And that really helps narrow down on what kind of career you want to pursue in the future. And
That's great. I'm so glad you had those opportunities to explore a little bit in the context of the program. Does anybody else have anything that they would want to add?
I just wanted to agree. I think the biggest plus side of MedGen is it's way more explorative than most of their programs, even other professional programs. And I think that's really exciting.
maybe I could add one more thing. I just really like the vision. I really like how small and intimate our cohorts are, because you really get to know everyone in your program. You know, in your undergrad, sometimes you can feel like just a number, or like have rooms of 1,000 people. Here, I can ask Erin when I have a question, or if we have, these direct lab directors from these major hospitals, I can raise my hand up and ask them questions. I can network with them. You don't get that opportunity anywhere else. So I feel really lucky to have had that opportunity for 2 years in the MedGen programs.
Yeah, and that's really intentional from a professional perspective as well, I think, because you don't want to be released into a job market that's oversaturated with like thousands of graduates. So you know that you're going to be working, if not in the same places, but you're going to be like liaising with and collaborating with your colleagues from the program, because like there are just right amount of spots for people who are exiting the program.
Absolutely. And, we bring in all these experts to teach you and to meet with you, not only because they're experts in their field, not only because they're at the bleeding edge of their own research or their own clinical practice, but also because we want you to know who these people are when you reach the professional marketplace and you're trying to get these amazing career opportunities. You're going to find these people on the other side of the interview table. So this is one of the reasons why we bring all these fabulous speakers in to talk to you.
Yeah, our lab's literally collaborating with multiple guest lecturers that we have. And so that full circle moment came so quickly. They went from like mentor to like people that we are actually like interacting with on the day-to-day, which is really fun.
Oh, the number of times I've seen an email chain and I'm like, oh, you gave us a guest lecture in MedGen. Yeah, you're shocked by the number of people you end up working with again after you graduate.
That's so great to hear. Amazing. Does anybody else have anything that they...
Yeah, I'd like to add on to something that April said earlier when she talked about joining a new program. I had a sort of interesting experience with that, because I think I started to hear about MedGen in my 3rd year of undergrad. And that was sort of around the time when, I'm an undergrad science student. What am I going to do with my life? Am I going to pursue medicine? Am I going to do a master's degree? And I knew I really liked genetics, and I knew that I wanted to do genetics in a way that would make an impact, that would help people. And so, at least when I first saw a flyer for the medical genomics program, it really felt like this was like meant for me. This was the exact thing I needed in it. And as April said, it fulfills such a perfect niche where you come, you learn about genomics, and then you're able to learn it in a way that's immediately applicable to the professional world. So I think that just speaks virtues about the program, and I think it's great for that.
That's wonderful. I'm so glad to hear that. And I'm really glad to hear that my early efforts at making promotional flyers didn't deter you. We've come a long way in terms of our communication strategy.
I still have the little like accordion book.
Yes.
I have a little box of memories.
That is very charming.
To add to the question earlier about career trajectory, I think the program equips us with, as mentioned earlier, like a broad set of skills, but they're broad within the scope of our field. And it's important that like a lot of people pick up bioinformatics or communications or genomics knowledge through other programs, but not within the context of medical genomics and like clinical applicability. So you can put on your resume maybe from another program that you have communications experience or you have coding experience, but you can't say I've worked with the tools that I know you're going to want me to work with, and I know how to speak about the topics that I know you're going to want me to speak about. And I think I've noticed within like interviews and various fields that's something that people are really, really excited about and surprised about, because it's a new program that people don't know that we exist, and they're so excited to find out that there's like a puzzle piece that fits right into where they want.
That's
Absolutely.
like the value we bring, because yes, I'm a bioinformatician, but I don't only bring that skills at the table. Like, we have very interpretation skills. People are impressed when we know how to deliver good presentations because we have ample experience with student lectures. So yeah, all these seemingly tiny things in the MedGen program, learning how to write news and views and like these different activities that almost seem like side activities, just assignments, they really play such a huge role in bringing value that other people don't necessarily bring to your team, and makes us like the perfect puzzle piece in your wherever team you join later. So yeah.
I had a supervisor tell me a while back that he has never met anyone who has written such a concise first draft of a paper. And I was like, I know 25 people that can do that. Like, that was like an explicit assignment we had. He was surprised, and I was like, I can give you like an array of classmates that could do just as well. So
Yeah.
That's great. You guys are doing all the legwork for promoting the program now.
I think especially as like a current student, like talking to past alumni, you really get this sense that like there's this overarching theme of being able to communicate science in a very particular and effective way. And I think that's really a big thing is like, yes, we have a class on communication, but not only that, we have this breadth of opportunities and skills that you're getting that allow you to know what you're communicating and have that knowledge behind you, that background knowledge that makes you effective little puzzle piece in so many teams in the field of genomics. And I think that's like really special because that's that missing piece that a lot of other people don't have. And I think that's really exciting.
I'm speechless about this. This is great. I'm so impressed that you're seeing that from the inside of the program. Like, you haven't even really formally hit the job market yet, and you already feel that you can sense that you're going to be a good fit for so many different things. That's really, really wonderful to hear. And that's pretty much exactly what we're hoping to give our students.
Exactly what I wanted to. So when
Okay, now that we've gotten the perspective of current students as well as alumni, we have some questions for Erin, the director of the program. How do you feel about the evolution of the program over the last 5 years?
Oh, wow. Okay, I could really talk about that all day. I have so much to say about how proud I am about the evolution of this program. Doctors Martina Steiner and Johanna Carroll and I took our faculty positions in the molecular genetics department all right around the same time, and we've been working together on this program for years. Since 2017, we've been working on this. And, between us, we've had 4 MedGen babies. And then the program itself sort of feels like the 5th baby. And I'm just so, so proud of what we have been able to build here. We've had so much support, not only from the Temerity Faculty of Medicine, not only from the Department of Molecular Genetics, but really from the entire surrounding medical genomics community in Toronto. And I think we've really been able to help with this program to foster and support this sense that there's this growing genomics hub in downtown Toronto. And of course, our students and all of our alumni have been absolutely integral to this process. I really can't overstate how important all of you have been in the success of this program, and how absolutely proud I have been of all of our students, our current students and our graduating classes. Each of you and all of your peers, you have really been the ones who have been making the program what it is. And we really wouldn't have gotten far at all. You mentioned, April, earlier that you felt that your cohort had contributed a lot of feedback to how the program has evolved. And that's been true with every iteration of new MedGen students, that all of you have really left your mark on the program. And we really wouldn't have been able to progress and evolve the way that we have without you. So we take in these really fantastic groups of young people who take this immense risk with us every year to trust us with their graduate experience. And I really am so grateful to have had that opportunity with all of you. So I always open our program's orientation, and you may all remember this, that I open every orientation by asking our new students to be brave with us in the MedGen program. And I'm just dazzled every year with the new sort of creative, innovative ways that our students find to optimize the program for themselves and to push the needle on what we can do and to really get what they want out of the MedGen program. So I guess those are the things that I'm really the most proud of here.
That's really exciting, Karen. I appreciate that you've taken this piece of a program and have made it something so special. Like it's such a huge project that the faculty has taken on. My next question for you would be, where do you see it going? What's the future like?
Oh, we want everything. We want it all. I have a few big hopes for the future of the program, but my biggest is honestly, I hope we can just stay the course. I hope that we can sort of keep moving with the momentum that we've built over the past 5 cohorts. Every year we take in these really fantastic, exciting groups of new graduate students. So I hope that this trend of really fantastic, innovative new grad students continues. Every year we find and are approached by really new and exciting partnership opportunities for our capstone practicum projects. And the scope of these projects is really growing and evolving and changing in step with the way that we see the field of medical genomics growing and changing. And so I really hope that continues and that we can continue to offer these really cutting edge professional opportunities for our placement students right before they graduate, so that when our students are walking across the stage at Convocation Hall and preparing to graduate, they really do feel that they're at the vanguard of genomic medicine, that they're right at the cutting edge, and that they are something special, that each of you, when you leave, you are this sort of special puzzle piece that you're going to fit in somewhere really important when you graduate. And I guess I hope for all of our graduates that they stay connected to us in some way, in the way that each of you has chosen to do and that so many of your peers have done, so that we can see how well you're thriving in the field now that you're out in the professional sphere. And that we can continue to watch all the really unique and exciting ways that you are continuing to change the field and push the needle and begin to do these things that, 5 years ago when we took in the first students in the MedGen program, we could only imagine that our graduates would go on to do these things and change the field in this way. You guys are making possible things that we didn't know would be possible when we started this program. So, you and your peers really are changing the face of genomic medicine in so many ways. And I think my greatest hope for the future of the program is that I get the opportunity to keep watching you do that. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to answer some of your questions and to speak a little bit to the things that I've been the most proud of in this program. That was really fun for me to brag a little bit about you. It has really been such a pleasure to have each of you come back for this chat. To think about the program, what we have managed to build here in the MedGen program over the past 5 cohorts, and to sort of speculate and celebrate a little bit where we think we're heading next. So April, Mafan, Sornaja, Dan, and Brooke, thank you all so much for coming back to campus, for providing your insights about where the program has, taken you and what it's given you. And for really helping to make the MedGen program what it has become. I think that I can really speak for the whole department and for the whole program when I say that watching each of you sort of learn and grow into your professional spheres is really something that is worthy of celebrating now that we're rounding out on our 5-year anniversary here.